Well, one particular stock today that's in the eye of the storm is Laurus Labs. The stock has seen significant selling pressure, but we have the management of Laurus Labs exclusively to CNBC TV18. Mr. Satyanarayana Chava, founder and CEO of Laurus Labs, joins us now. First of all, good morning, Mr. Chava. Thank you so much for joining us. While we will get to the results, and it's a very good set of numbers from Laurus this time around, the results have been overshadowed by the fact that there has been a development over the weekend regarding the Trump administration's decision to go ahead and halt funding as far as ARV tenders are concerned for the AIDS program. Could you give us a sense of how it impacts you? What percentage of your top line comes in from this particular business, and how is your business impacted?
Good morning. If you look at the amount of money spent on purchase of drugs to treat HIV patients is $1.5 billion. This is about 10% of the total money spent on the entire HIV program. If there is a fund constraint, we don't believe they will stop buying drugs because they have achieved so much progress in controlling this disease. We believe the funding, whatever available to them, will be utilized mostly for purchase of the drugs. That's one point. And second, the amount of money contributed by US on the HIV program is significant, but is not the 100%. So a lot of other countries also contribute significantly. And third, countries like South Africa, India, China, Thailand, and Brazil, where HIV burden is very high, apart from other African countries, they are funding these programs by the respective governments itself. The patients living in these moderate income countries is about 10 million patients out of 27 million patients on treatment. So 1/3 of the patients who are living in these countries are funded by their own governments. And the other additional point is, for Laurus Labs, we sell API to most of the formulators. That contributes about $200 million sales, and we sell about $100 million formulations. Currently, it contributes about 40% of our sales, and we believe it will have no or very insignificant impact on our business prospects. And lastly, even there is a news that US is reconsidering joining WHO, and that is under consideration. So considering all these, we don't believe this will have any impact on our business, HIV business.
Okay, but just to get the numbers right, you're saying that the ARV-related portfolio is 40% of your revenues, and what percentage of your EBITDA? And if I could just go one step further in, what about the PEPFAR-related ARV business? Some estimates suggest that it could be 500 crore, that's about 9% of your overall sales. Would that be a correct estimate of the current position?
See, we sell about 1,500 crores for APIs to all other formulators, and we sell about 800-900 crore formulation ourselves. So the money, the revenue what we're generating directly from orders or tenders from PEPFAR is not that significant in our overall revenues.
So what would that number be? I understand it's not significant and they may not be a big, overall impact. But as of now, what is the revenue that you generate from PEPFAR-related tenders?
Oh, we have orders for the end of this year. See, it's not that people place tender orders and then they look for money. So 2025, PEPFAR funding, global funding were secured, and all countries contributed to that. So see, even in FDA, even US government is saying there's a 90-day freeze, and then during this review period, they take decisions which programs will be funded, which are not funded. So it is a 90-day freeze, and but that has no impact on our immediate orders or orders during this calendar year 2025.
Understood that. Mr. Chava, also one more thing which I want to understand is, could you explain to us the life cycle of the tendering business? What is the inventory in the system? When is the next set of tenders about to come about? And, is there already been channel filling that has been done as far as this particular set or the 2025 set of tenders are concerned. So will 2025 business be impacted? There's been quite a bit of to and fro, like you mentioned, they're also considering going back into the WHO. But could you give us a sense of that?
See, each country follows its different tenders. Some country do multiple tenders in a year. For example, you take South Africa, they do a 3-year cycle. That cycle starts very soon. And South Africa is not funded by PEPFAR or Global. They do most their own. And India, NACO, is funded by the government. And that Indian government do 2 cycles generally. And China has their own program, Brazil and Thailand and all, they have their own program. So whereas other countries are funded by Global Fund, PEPFAR, USAID, and their in-country programs. So there are multiple things. One program don't contribute more than 1/3 of HIV treatment across the globe.
Understood that. Mr. Chava, if you have any more thoughts on this particular development, please do share with us. But we'd also like to understand a little bit about business itself. Q3, after a while, you did see very strong turnaround come about, especially as far as the CDMO business is concerned. You've given a guidance to the street of 20% EBITDA margin, which shows that the implied ask rate for Q4 is quite steep. Do you continue to hold on to that guidance? And would you be able to give us a top-line guidance for, where will you end FY25 at? And also FY26, how is the CDMO business outlook looking?
As we informed in our investor call last Friday, we are very much committed to bring our EBITDA margins for the entire year closer to 20%. We are committed to that. We have orders on place, we have production done or going on, and we are delivering strong numbers in our CDMO, this better than the Q3. And also our FY26 for overall business is looking good, non-ARV is looking good, CDMO is looking good. I think things are in a good shape.
So just getting back to, again, the concern that the street has on your ARV business, the PEPFAR-related funding. Do you think estimating a 5%, so let me rephrase it, sorry. The street worries that the worst case impact on your EBITDA margins in FY26 would be 5% at the EBITDA level, a 5% impact at the EBITDA level. Do you think that's realistic, or it may not be as much? And the impact could be the tune of 1-2%, or what to your mind could be the impact at the EBITDA level?
See, if US stop funding entire HIV program, say 30% of the people who are getting treatment are not getting treatment, then assuming everybody gets 30% beating, so and Laurus will also get 30% beating. So it will have some impact on our program. But see, these formulations is fungible ARV APIs. We will take some time to recoup that into other APIs. So for 2025 calendar year, everything is visible, and we have no impact on our ARV business and also other businesses. And it is too early to comment what kind of knee-jerk reactions people are taking. Whether how much truth is there, how much pain is there in that, we have to wait. When it comes to 2005 calendar year, that means Q4 and the next 3 quarters, the next financial year, we don't see any impact.
So one last question from our end. 2024, the US Biosecure Act didn't play out as expected. 2025, are you hopeful it goes through? Despite that, in your results, you're seeing the CDMO business pick up. What is the strength or the pace at which RFQs are coming in? You've mentioned that you see a bit of visibility, but are you seeing increased business coming in from US clients, especially for the CDMO space?
Most of the business in CDMO currently is coming from US customers, but there are a lot of opportunities we are pursuing for CDMO business from European customers as well. See, the CDMO business, small molecule business itself is growing for big pharma. So there is a need for capacity in CDMO space. And since we have invested around $400 million in the last 4 years in CapEx, that CapEx is coming to very fruitful use right now. And we have several programs, APIs and very advanced intermediates are produced. And our CDMO future looks very bright.
Okay, thank you very much, sir, for joining in. So you're committed to hitting the 20% margin, even though the ask rate in Q4 is quite high, but 20% margins and the impact, on this US withdrawing from the PEPFAR funding, the WHO funding for malaria. You don't believe the impact is going to be too much. For 2025, you have visibility, orders are secured for 2025. That's Laurus Labs for you. Stock still down close to about 10-11%.